Werewolves, Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, and mummies. What do they all have in common? They all did. He did the mash. He did the monster. But on a more serious note, why are all these monsters the face of Halloween? Those four plus things like ghosts, zombies, and some other stuff are the mascots of Halloween in a sense. If you get a Halloween movie, you get one of these monsters or some psycho killer like Jason. Well, the obvious answer is that they're just popular. They're all scary, and Halloween is to be scary. They have also lost their trademark, so it is really easy to use them in things. Let's start with the two big and probably the most popular names of this bunch, Dracula and Frankenstein's monster. I'm making sure I say Frankenstein's monster because this is Frankenstein, and I don't need the comments to correct me on this. They first came out in novels by Bram Stoker for Dracula in 1897 and Mary Shelley for Frankenstein in 1816. Then they later met Hollywood in 1931. The movies did change some things from the original source material, like in 1924, we got what we now see as Dracula, a tuxedo, cape, a gentleman of swords, but the original version of him was not gentlemanly. Stoker's Count Dracula would go on to have a mustache, bushy eyebrows, and aquiline features. Other things that were also brought up in Hollywood that were never said in the book, like dying to sunlight. Frankenstein probably went through more changes though. He was never originally the flat-headed, bolt on the side of the neck, and all that other stuff we see today. Here's a quote straight out of the book describing what he looks like. His limbs were proportional, and I selected his features as beautiful. Beautiful, great, God. His yellow skin scarcely covered the works of his muscles and arteries beneath. His hair was lustrous, black, and flowing, his teeth of a pearly whiteness, but these luxuries only formed a more horrid contrast with his watery eyes that seemed almost of the same color as the dun white sockets in which they were set, his shriveled complexion and straight black lips. You can blame Jack Pierce for giving you the Frankenstein we have today. As with most things, the monsters were run dry by Hollywood. We got sequels like The Mummy, The Bride of Frankenstein, and eventually The Wolfman, which The Wolfman is a universal original. They took inspiration from the commonly known half man, half wolf hybrids and made the werewolves we now know. But they were all done by 1948 and would have died if it weren't for TV in the 1950s. With trick-or-treating becoming more of a thing around this time, people needed monsters to dress up in the spirit of the holiday. And with all the popularity of these quote-unquote new monsters, they cemented themselves into the holiday. In 1962, these monsters started stretching to every corner of promotion they could, from cereal and action figures to being in every cartoon they could be in. With all this promotion, they slowly became less threatening with the monsters in 1964 than the iconic Count Dracula in Sesame Street. And of course, Scooby Doo, which turned these once scary monsters into just some guy with a mask on. So, at the end of the day, why we see Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, werewolves, and all that other stuff can be blamed on Hollywood. If you don't believe me, then you can go to the description where you can use the same links I used. While you might be sick and tired of seeing these monsters everywhere, they are iconic, and it will be almost impossible to picture a Halloween without any of these mascots in it. I don't think I would enjoy a Halloween as much if it were just Medusa, Xenomorphs, Cthulhu, and whatever else you can think of. Whether you like it or not, these monsters have been here since the 1950s and they don't plan on leaving anytime soon. If you enjoyed this video, then hit the subscribe button here to see tomorrow's video where I talk about the history of zombies. Otherwise, check out one of these videos and I'll see you in the next one.